With more parts of the province seeing temperatures hitting well below freezing at night, there is a push to get more people living outdoors indoors. Joining us now is Carmen Rempel, the Executive Director of Colona's Gospel Mission. Carmen, thanks for being here. Earlier this month, Homelessness Advocate or Services Association of BC reported a 32% rise in Metro Vancouver homelessness over 3 years. What are you seeing in Kelowna?
Colona, it's the same story. We're seeing it all across the province, both in our big urban centers and in our rural communities. Homelessness is on the rise, not just in BC, but across the country.
Now, every year, cold weather signals the need for more shelter space, but homelessness, as we know, is a year-round issue. What solutions are you pushing for now and the rest of the season?
We're always pushing for more housing. All your housing advocates, shelter providers are going to be singing the same song, which is that emergency temporary winter shelters are not a solution to the problems that we're facing. What we need is housing, a diversity of housing options that are accessible for people no matter what struggles they have, what goals they have for themselves.
Is there anything happening in Kelowna right now? We have seen some stories about some smaller sort of mini modular houses. Anything beyond that that's happening in your community?
Every winter, we go through the same process around this time, where all of our outreach teams are starting to scale up what they're doing. So we've got sock drives because providing basic winter essentials for people who are sheltering outside becomes of utmost importance right now. So we are scaling up our outreach teams, providing basic needs to people who have to be outside, as well as the different shelter providers take this time of year to look at their internal capacity and see what they can do to increase the capacity they have in their current shelter spaces.
How much capacity do you have right now?
That's the burning question that we're currently asking ourselves.
Can you give us a number? How many people could you shelter on any given night?
Well, currently, so the Gospel Mission is one of several different organizations in Colona who provide emergency shelter. So we operate two shelters year-round. Both have the capacity for 60 people at each shelter. And then traditionally, we've done emergency winter mat programs as well. So we're looking to see if that's possible for this year. This was impossible for us to do last year. Actually, no shelter providers in Kelowna were able to start up an emergency winter mat program last winter, and that was just due to the labor shortage.
And how does staffing requirements for housing units compare to what is needed, for example, to run a shelter?
Super glad you asked. One of the reasons why housing is superior to shelter is because it actually takes less to operate them. In my low barrier emergency shelter, we have 6 resident support workers who are on staff pretty much 24 hours a day, a little bit less at night. Plus we have management, facilities, all those different things. When you've got a supportive housing unit, you're going to have 3 people on staff at a given time instead of 6. So housing is not only better for those who are accessing these services, but for the service providers, we can do more with less when we're doing housing instead of shelter.
Carmen Rempel, Executive Director of Colona's Gospel Mission, we appreciate your time and your perspective. Thank you.